Have you felt that ache in your heart, that question mark hovering in the silence of the night, when you whisper their names into the darkness? Maybe you have prayed for them, maybe you have cried for them, but deep inside you wonder, are they truly at peace? Today, you are about to discover a truth that will transform not only the way you pray, but the way you understand death itself. Saint Faustina Kowalska, the humble messenger of divine mercy, was granted extraordinary visions of purgatory, visions so powerful that they reveal what few know about the silent suffering of souls who wait in hope. This is not a story to frighten you. This is an invitation to love in a way you have never imagined before. Subscribe to this channel so you do not miss more teachings and revelations from Saint Faustina that can change your spiritual life forever. You might think you know what purgatory is. Perhaps you imagine it as some distant place, a theological concept, something abstract that belongs to old books and ancient traditions. But purgatory is not a theory. It is a reality. It is a state of purification where souls, already saved by the mercy of God, prepare themselves to enter the eternal glory of heaven. These souls are not condemned, they are not lost, they are loved, they are being polished like gold in fire, refined until every trace of imperfection is removed. And you, right now, as you listen to these words, have the power to help them. Does that not move your heart? Does it not stir something deep within your soul to know that your prayers can reach across the veil between life and death? Saint Faustina understood this mystery in a way few saints ever have. She was not a theologian with libraries of knowledge. She was a simple sister, a cook, a gardener, a woman who swept floors and tended to the sick. Yet God chose her to be the secretary of His mercy, the voice that would cry out to the world about the infinite love that flows from the pierced heart of Jesus. In her diary, she recorded with trembling hands the visions she received, the encounters with souls from purgatory who came to her, begging for prayer, pleading for relief. She wrote these words not for herself, but for you, for the consolation of souls. Have you ever thought that maybe God is speaking to you through her words right now? The truth is that most people live their entire lives without ever truly contemplating what happens after death. We avoid the subject, we push it away, we distract ourselves with 1,000 things because deep down, we are afraid. Afraid of judgment, afraid of what we will find on the other side. But Saint Faustina teaches us that fear is not the answer, trust is. Jesus himself told her, as recorded in Diary 1226, "My daughter, all souls that adore my mercy and spread it, and that with great trust surrender to my mercy, will not die in any way. My mercy will envelop them at the hour of death, and I will be for them the Savior and not the judge." Can you feel the weight of these words? Can you sense the love that pulses through them? This is not about terror, this is about hope. This is about mercy reaching into the darkest corners of existence and pulling souls into light. Saint Faustina was lying in her small convent cell one evening, her body weak from illness, her soul burning with love for God. Suddenly, her guardian angel appeared before her, radiant and powerful, and without a word, commanded her to follow. She stood, though her physical body remained on the bed, and followed this celestial guide into a realm she had never seen. She wrote in Diary 20, "I saw my guardian angel who ordered me to follow him. Suddenly I found myself in a misty place full of fire, and in it a great multitude of suffering souls. These souls pray with great fervor, but without effectiveness for themselves. Only we can help them." Imagine that moment. Imagine standing at the edge of purgatory, seeing the faces of those who suffer, hearing their prayers rising like incense, knowing that they cannot save themselves, that they depend entirely on the mercy of God and the prayers of those still living. This vision shook Saint Faustina to her core. It was not the fire that frightened her most, it was the helplessness. These souls were praying, they were calling out to God, but their prayers could not shorten their own purification. They needed help. They needed you. They needed the living members of the Church, united in the communion of saints, to offer sacrifices, prayers, masses, acts of mercy on their behalf. Have you ever felt powerless in the face of suffering? Have you ever wanted to help someone but did not know how? Now you know. Now you understand. Every rosary you pray, every mass you attend, every act of love you offer can be directed toward these souls, and God will apply your merits to their purification. Does that not change everything? Saint Faustina saw souls she recognized, people she had known in life, and when they saw her, they did not speak with voices, but with a communication that transcended words. They begged her to pray, they showed her their suffering, and when she prayed, when she offered her own sacrifices and sufferings for them, she saw them relieved. She saw light enter the darkness. She saw mercy triumph. In Diary 1720, she writes, "I saw a soul that was suffering horribly in purgatory. It was a soul I knew. When she saw me, she asked me to pray for her. I prayed, and I saw that she was relieved. Can you imagine the joy of that soul? Can you imagine the gratitude? This is what you can do. This is the mission to which you are called." But Saint Faustina also saw something else, something that reveals the true nature of these souls. She saw that they were at peace. Yes, they suffered. Yes, they longed for heaven. But there was no rebellion in them, no anger, no bitterness. They accepted their purification with total surrender to the will of God. In Diary 36, she records, "Once I saw a soul that was in purgatory. She told me, 'I suffer much, but I trust in the mercy of God,' and I saw that the mercy of God was enveloping her." This is the paradox of purgatory. It is suffering, but it is also trust. It is fire, but it is also love. It is waiting, but it is also hope. These souls know they are saved. They know they will reach heaven. And that certainty, that absolute confidence in God's mercy, sustains them through every moment of purification. Saint Faustina teaches us that purgatory is not a place of despair. It is a place of hope. It is the final preparation before the eternal wedding feast. And you, dear soul, listening to these words, you are part of that preparation. You are part of the body of Christ. And what you do here on earth echoes in eternity. When you offer a prayer, when you make a small sacrifice, when you attend Mass with the intention of helping the souls in purgatory, you become a channel of divine mercy. You become an instrument in the hands of God. Does this not fill you with purpose? Does this not give meaning to your suffering, your struggles, your daily crosses? Nothing is wasted in the economy of grace. Everything can be offered. Everything can be transformed into love. If this message is touching your heart, if you feel that God is calling you to become an apostle of the souls in purgatory, write in the comments, "I will pray for the souls." Let this be your commitment. Let this be your promise before God and before these souls who wait for your help. Subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell so you can continue receiving teachings from Saint Faustina that will deepen your spiritual life. What do these souls feel as they wait in purgatory? This is the question that burns in your heart. You want to know, you need to know, because maybe someone you love is there right now, and the thought of their suffering is almost unbearable. Saint Faustina, in her profound mystical experiences, gives us glimpses into this mystery. The souls in purgatory experience a longing so intense that no earthly comparison can capture it. It is the longing for God. Imagine the deepest desire you have ever felt, the most powerful yearning, the most consuming need, and multiply it by infinity. That is what these souls feel. They have been saved, they have been judged and found worthy of heaven, but they cannot yet enter because they are not yet pure enough to stand in the presence of the all-holy God. The suffering of purgatory is not primarily physical fire, though the Church has used that image to help us understand. The fire is real, but it is a spiritual fire. It is the fire of God's love encountering everything in the soul that is not yet perfectly aligned with that love. Think of it this way. If you have ever felt convicted by your conscience, if you have ever felt the weight of your sins pressing on your heart, you have tasted a drop of what these souls experience. But in purgatory, there is no escape from that awareness. Every attachment to sin, every moment of selfishness, every wound caused by pride or anger or lust, all of it is laid bare before the soul, and the soul sees it all with perfect clarity. There is no self-deception in purgatory, There is only truth. Yet here is the beautiful paradox. This suffering is not punishment in the way we usually think of punishment. It is purification. It is healing. The souls in purgatory do not hate God. They love Him with a love that grows stronger every moment. They accept their purification because they desire it. They want to be clean. They want to be worthy. They want every trace of sin and selfishness burned away so that they can finally see the face of God without any barrier. Saint Faustina saw this clearly. The souls she encountered were suffering, yes, but they were also at peace. They were in the hands of divine mercy. They knew they would reach heaven, and that certainty sustained them through the fire. But there is something else you need to understand, something that Saint Faustina emphasizes again and again in her diary. These souls cannot help themselves. They can pray. They can offer their suffering. They can unite themselves to the cross of Christ, but they cannot shorten their own time of purification. Only you can do that. Only the living members of the Church can intercede for them. This is why Saint Faustina writes so urgently about the need for prayer. This is why Jesus told her to spread devotion to divine mercy, to encourage people to trust in His love, to offer masses and rosaries and acts of mercy for the souls in purgatory. Every prayer you say, every sacrifice you make, every mass you attend with the intention of helping these souls, all of it reaches them. All of it brings them relief. All of it shortens their time of waiting. Have you ever felt helpless? Have you ever stood at the edge of someone else's pain and wished you could take it away? Now you can. Now you have the power to help. Every time you pray the chaplet of divine mercy, every time you offer your daily struggles with love, every time you attend Mass and offer it for the souls in purgatory, you are reaching across the veil. You are extending the hand of mercy. You are becoming a co-worker with Christ in the salvation of souls. Does this not change how you see your own life? Does this not transform the meaning of your suffering? Nothing is wasted. Everything can be offered. And when you offer it with love, it becomes a river of grace flowing into purgatory, bringing relief, bringing light, bringing hope. This is the silent suffering that few know about. These souls wait in patience and trust. They cannot shout, they cannot demand. They can only hope that someone on earth will remember them, will pray for them, will love them enough to help. And you, right now, in this moment, you have been given this knowledge. You have been given this responsibility. What will you do with it? Will you turn away, or will you open your heart? Will you forget these words, or will you let them transform you into an apostle of divine mercy? The choice is yours, but know this: every soul you help in purgatory becomes your friend in heaven. Every soul you pray for will intercede for you when your time comes. This is not just charity, this is spiritual wisdom, this is investment in eternity. One of the most profound truths that Saint Faustina reveals is that the souls in purgatory are completely dependent on our prayers. In Diary 20, she writes the words that should shake every Catholic to the core. These souls pray with great fervor, but without effectiveness for themselves. Only we can help them. Let those words sink into your heart. These souls are praying. They are crying out to God. They are offering their suffering. But their prayers cannot shorten their own purification. They need you. They need me. They need the Church on earth to remember them, to love them, to intercede for them. This is one of the most beautiful mysteries of the communion of saints. We are not isolated individuals. We are a family. We are the body of Christ. And what we do affects each other, even across the barrier of death. Why is this so? Why can these souls not help themselves? The answer lies in the nature of purgatory itself. Purgatory is not a place where souls earn more merit. It is not a second chance to make up for sins not confessed or penances not performed. Purgatory is purely passive. The soul endures, the soul accepts, the soul is purified by the fire of God's love, but the soul cannot act in the way we can act on earth. The time for merit is over. The time for earning grace has passed. Now the soul can only receive. And what the soul receives comes from two sources: the infinite mercy of God and the prayers and sacrifices of the faithful on earth. You are the second source. You are the channel through which divine mercy flows to these suffering souls. Think about this for a moment. Every Mass you attend can be offered for a soul in purgatory. Every rosary you pray can be directed toward their relief. Every small sacrifice you make during the day, every moment of patience, every act of kindness, every suffering accepted with love, all of it can be offered for the souls who wait. And God, in His infinite wisdom and mercy, will apply your offering to their purification. This is not magic. This is not superstition. This is the doctrine of the Church, confirmed by saints and mystics throughout the centuries and revealed with special clarity to Saint Faustina, the apostle of divine mercy. But here is something else you need to understand. These souls are aware of your prayers. They feel them. They receive them like drops of water in a desert. Saint Faustina experienced this firsthand. In Diary 1720, she writes about seeing a soul she knew suffering horribly in purgatory. When that soul saw her, it begged for prayer. Saint Faustina prayed, and immediately she saw the soul relieved. The suffering lessened. The light grew brighter. The soul drew closer to heaven. Can you imagine the joy of that soul? Can you imagine the gratitude? And more importantly, can you imagine that right now, at this very moment, there might be souls in purgatory who are waiting for you to remember them, to pray for them, to help them? Maybe it is someone you knew. Maybe it is a family member, a friend, someone who touched your life. Or maybe it is a soul you never met, someone whose name you do not know, but who is waiting for your prayer nonetheless. God has infinite ways of connecting souls across time and space. When you pray for the souls in purgatory in general, God directs your prayer to those who need it most. You do not need to know their names. You do not need to have met them. You only need to love them. You only need to offer your prayer with trust in divine mercy, and God will do the rest. Here is a practical truth that Saint Faustina teaches. The most powerful prayer you can offer for the souls in purgatory is the Holy Mass. The Mass is Calvary made present. The Mass is the infinite sacrifice of Jesus offered to the Father. When you attend Mass with the intention of helping the souls in purgatory, when you unite your prayer to the offering of Jesus on the altar, you are opening a floodgate of grace. Nothing is more powerful than the Mass. Nothing brings more relief to the suffering souls. This is why the Church has always encouraged the offering of Masses for the deceased. This is why families traditionally request Masses for their departed loved ones. It is not just a pious custom, it is a spiritual reality with eternal consequences. But not everyone can attend daily Mass. Not everyone can offer multiple Masses for the souls in purgatory. Does that mean you are powerless? Absolutely not. Saint Faustina teaches that the Chaplet of Divine Mercy, when prayed with faith and trust, is extraordinarily powerful for the souls in purgatory. In this chaplet, you offer the body and blood, soul and divinity of Jesus to the Father in atonement for sins. You are offering Jesus Himself. You are presenting the infinite treasure of His passion to the Father. And when you do this for the souls in purgatory, when you pray this chaplet with the intention of helping them, mercy flows like a river. Light breaks into their darkness. Hope strengthens in their hearts. They draw closer to the moment when they will finally see God face to face. There is also the practice of offering indulgences for the souls in purgatory. The Church, in her wisdom and maternal love, grants indulgences attached to certain prayers and actions. An indulgence is the remission of temporal punishment due to sin. When you gain an indulgence and offer it for a soul in purgatory, you are literally shortening that soul's time of purification. You are applying the merits of Christ and the saints to that soul. You are acting as a channel of the Church's treasury of grace. This is not earning salvation. Salvation is already secured for these souls. This is helping them reach the fullness of that salvation more quickly. And the Church encourages this practice because it is rooted in the dogma of the communion of saints. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it change you? Will you become an apostle of the souls in purgatory? Or will you go back to your daily life and forget? The souls are waiting, they are hoping, they are trusting that someone on earth loves them enough to pray. Let that someone be you. In the midst of all this suffering, in the heart of this place of purification, there is a presence so gentle, so tender, so full of consolation that the souls call her by a special name. Saint Faustina saw this in one of her most beautiful visions. In Diary 518, she writes, "Once I saw Purgatory. I saw the Mother of God visiting the souls in Purgatory. The souls call her Star of the Sea. She brings them relief. Can you imagine that moment? Can you picture Mary, the Mother of Mercy, descending into Purgatory, bringing the light of her Son to those who wait in darkness?" The souls there do not see her as a stranger. They see her as their mother. They call out to her with the ancient title, Star of the Sea, the beacon of hope for those lost in the storm. Mary's presence in Purgatory is not mentioned often in modern preaching, but it is a truth deeply rooted in Catholic tradition and mysticism. Mary is the mother of all the living. She is the mother of the Church, and her maternal care does not end with death. She continues to watch over her children, even those who are being purified in Purgatory. She cannot shorten their time arbitrarily. She cannot override the justice of God. But she can bring consolation. She can bring hope. She can remind them that they are not forgotten, that they are loved, that heaven awaits them. And when you pray the rosary for the souls in Purgatory, when you ask Mary to intercede for them, you are joining your prayer to hers. You are asking the Mother of God to visit them, to comfort them, to be for them what she has always been, the Star of the Sea. Why do the souls call her this? The title Star of the Sea is ancient, going back to the early Church Fathers. It comes from the Latin Stella Maris, and it expresses the idea that Mary guides souls through the storms and dangers of life, leading them safely to the harbor of heaven. For the souls in Purgatory, this image takes on profound meaning. They are in the storm, they are in the final purification before reaching the eternal shore. And Mary is their guide, their light, their hope. She does not take away their suffering, but she makes it bearable. She does not shorten their purification unjustly, but she intercedes with her Son, asking him to apply the prayers and sacrifices of the faithful on earth to these souls. She is the mediatrix of all graces, and her intercession is powerful beyond measure. Think about your own relationship with Mary. Have you ever felt her presence in your life? Have you ever experienced her maternal care? If you have, then you know how powerful her intercession is. And if she cares for you now, while you are still on earth, how much more does she care for those souls who are already saved, who are her children, who only need the final purification before entering heaven? When you pray the rosary for the souls in Purgatory, when you consecrate yourself to Mary and ask her to use your prayers for the relief of these souls, you are tapping into a river of grace that has been flowing since the beginning of the Church. You are joining the communion of saints in a prayer that echoes through eternity. But Mary is not the only heavenly being who cares for the souls in Purgatory. The angels, too, play a role. Saint Faustina herself was guided into Purgatory by her guardian angel. In Diary 20, she writes that her angel ordered her to follow, and she suddenly found herself in that place of purification. The angels are messengers and servants of God. They carry our prayers to heaven. They present our offerings before the throne of God. And they bring comfort to the souls who wait. Have you ever thought about your guardian angel in this way? Have you ever asked your angel to intercede for the souls in Purgatory? This is a simple but powerful devotion. Your guardian angel is always with you, always ready to help, always eager to carry your prayers to God. There is a beautiful spiritual practice that you can adopt, something that Saint Faustina would surely encourage. Every day, when you wake up, offer your guardian angel a prayer for the souls in Purgatory. Ask your angel to take your prayers, your